YouTube, hear me out because it's so easy to hop on the bandwagon of degrading the Galaxy S25 Ultra due to its lack of major changes from last year's S24 Ultra. However, once you use the device and even more face the reality that not everyone upgrades year after year, we were absolutely spoiled by the tech renaissance when there were major upgrades year after year, which caused us to have fun while upgrading year after year. Well, you have to face the pure fact that the S25 Ultra is a great smartphone at its core. But on the other hand, yes, they removed the Bluetooth function from the S Pen, and yes, smartphones that are overseas are still pushing the envelope in some ways. Yet and still, I have absolutely enjoyed every single day with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and a lot of you have as well. But why is that? Let me explain. So we're gonna get directly into it. Number one, it starts off with the design, right? The design change, while it wasn't extremely major in comparison to the S24 Ultra, in my opinion, it was the design change that the S Ultra line needed. Now, no, it's not everything as far as all of the features and stuff. Again, I'm speaking on design and pure aesthetics alone. The design and the aesthetics of this phone, how it fits in your hand, how it feels when I use it every single day is absolutely an upgrade over the old boxy design. Yes, I love this. Yes, this is the visual cue as to what this phone truly is or truly represents, but that era is over, unfortunately. And even as a Note user, once a Note user, always a Note user, I can accept that fact. As someone who has been around for the whole iPhone era year after year and have come to realize that in the iPhone arena, the reason why the changes year over year at this point in this plateaued smartphone era exists is because it's all about refinements. It's all about taking what's a great smartphone and making it greater or better. If you look at the S23 Ultra, which was top tier battery life, top tier gear, S Ultra device, and then we went into the S24 Ultra, which refined that S23 Ultra experience, and then we move into the S25 Ultra, which refines it even more. Now, I get it. My Samsung Knights out there, my S Pen yielders. A lot of you guys, or some of you guys, shall we be honest, are upset about the removal of the Bluetooth S Pen. Well, there are alternatives to that, especially if you're a true Galaxy, ecosystem or Galaxy user like you claim to be. You can use your smartwatch or Galaxy Ring, and even more than that, you can use your voice, if you didn't know. So I'll get more into that when I talk about cameras, but from a design perspective, I am enjoying the new flat edge, rolled corners, this beautiful titanium jet black, and this anti-reflective front panel screen technology, which is paired with the best screens in the industry. As we know, Samsung has those. So I put my screen on natural so that way I get the full glory of the true color accuracy. But when I look at high quality HDR footage on the S25 Ultra, it absolutely delivers. And the speakers are better. When I did the speaker test in my previous video, some people were trying to say that the S24 sounded better, but it's hard to translate audio over the microphone. Also, I had the microphone aimed at me and not down. But when I do my comparison video between the S24 Ultra versus the S25 Ultra, which is coming really soon, you know what to do. Subscribe and turn on the bell. I will make sure that I get an up close microphone capture test for those speakers. But the speakers are fuller. They got a lot more low end in them. And in my opinion, they're louder, fuller, and better. So that in connection with this beautiful Samsung panel, this AMOLED beauty that we get, no, not much hasn't changed. It's 6.9 versus 6.8 inch, which is just a bezel reduction, which I'm taking that all day. The smaller the bezels, the better. We always like small bezels, right? And this device brings that experience and even more. So again, you have to continue to stare at this device at its core function. utilization and come to a determining factor as to what is the user experience. That's all that matters. When we doing these reviews and we are looking objectively at the overall package, it's all about the user experience. And anyone who focuses on anything other than user experience is doing you a disservice, which is why I continue to do these videos over long periods of time, let you know or update you on my user experience as it goes. So let's carry on now that we've gotten design out of the way, which I love and appreciate this design. And if you're looking for a case, I got you guys. My top accessory video is right around the corner. I got a handful of cases. I got some bulky ones for you bulky protective people. And you guys know me, I like the thin minimal ones. So I got some of those as well. And I'm gonna give you guys some great options to maintain this battery life. Let's talk about it. The 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which has not changed since what? It's been a minute. It's been quite a long time. We thought with the new battery technology that has been coming to the market that we would have seen maybe an increase, or if the battery has gotten slimmer, which I don't know. You know, the device has gotten slimmer, but if the battery gets slimmer, maybe more things can come in terms of, you know, physical features. But I'll say this about battery. I've been hitting this thing really hard in the area of battery and usage. I've been nonstop using this thing. Like anytime I'm replying to your comments, just know I'm on here, S Pen yielding. Hold on, let me get it out. And I'm swipe typing, and I'm hitting you back. TikTok doom scrolling, heavy. And yes, I can confirm that if you have a Samsung device and you use the smart switch feature, you will carry on the usage of your TikTok. As you guys can see, TikTok is working. The dollar menu from Mickey D's that used to be, there's no longer. And listen, I don't even eat McDonald's, but that was the TikTok of the day. Nevertheless, the battery life on here is good. And we have the Snapdragon X Elite. A lot of people were wondering, were they gonna be able to optimize more battery out of it? Now, I will say this, it's early. It's actually too early to give a true battery diagnosis as it's still learning, you know, our usage and over time. But I'm gonna tell you this, that AI and that battery learning is fast, because it was one late night. I'm doom scrolling on TikTok, you guys. Y'all know how that get. The late night, oh, I'm about to go to bed, but then next thing you know, 2 hours later, you still scrolling. My battery was low. It was down to the, you know, it was down in the paint. And I just kept going. I kept using it. I kept looking, and it was like, what I thought would have drained and zeroed out my battery in that timing, it actually just seemed to, like, I don't know, it was as if it optimized, shut things off, and just allowed the battery to only be used at what I was focused on, because the battery did not drain none the bit. And that is impressive. That is optimization at its finest, and that is battery life. And if you are one of those heavy users who just absolutely obliterates any battery, don't worry, I got solutions to help you maintain your battery if you don't already have them, but you should already have those solutions in play. You know, chargers, MagSafe battery packs, come on now. But the battery life on the S25 Ultra is good. And that, like, finals in the paint late night, doom scroll when I should have lost battery and I didn't, impressed me. So W for the S25 Ultra in the terms of battery life. Carrying on to a topic that, you know, is, you know, hit or miss with me all the time, year after year, with the Samsung devices, and that's the cameras. And my biggest issue has always been skin tones. In my first initial video, I took a blind, you know, camera test, and I let you guys see. And then I didn't see it until I edited the, you know, footage. Now, I'll say this, I'm gonna give Samsung some flowers. I'm not gonna give them all of their flowers, but I definitely gotta give them some flowers, because my skin tones were a lot closer to what they should be and not as far as they used to be. You guys are gonna hear me say that again when I'm in the camera section, because I did another camera test. I went outside, and this time, you know, it was cold and raining outside, so I didn't get all super dynamic and crazy with it, but you know, we got some log footage shots, we got some high quality, nice, good lighting shots, and we're basically showcasing what these cameras can do. So let me showcase that to you. Okay, using a front-facing camera in pro video mode right now on the S25 Ultra. gotta come outside and get the sauce. So one thing I want to give props to Samsung on, from what I saw on my first initial photo and video test, is an improvement on skin tones. They're a lot closer to where they should be versus the past where they were a lot further. So they're closer. Perfect? No, I don't think any smartphone that I've used outside of the Pixel at one point, no, they're not perfect, but they are a lot closer. So shout out to Samsung for at least taking an initiative and the right step in that direction. That's my biggest gripe with Samsung cameras, and they've addressed it. Okay, so while I'm outside, as you guys can see, it is wet and cold. I'm freezing, but I'm gonna get this footage for you guys. I'm shooting in log 8K, 24 frames per second, just to show you guys the sauce that Samsung has to offer. These are my, Beater Royal ones. I got another one on dead stock for my shoe heads out there, but nevertheless, just wanted to give a shot. Now let me flip it around. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about outside of pro video mode and how good the skin tones have gotten, and having log, which we're shooting in right now, when it comes to activating the camera, for those who are upset about the Bluetooth pin, well, if you opt in for a Samsung Galaxy Watch, you can control your camera there, and I think you can also do it with the Galaxy Ring. Now, is this a tactic by Samsung to get you deeper into their ecosystem? More than likely, but nevertheless, the convenience from within the phone is gone, but the convenience is still there for those who do opt in for the Samsung ecosystem. Just want to throw that out there. So let me grab some quick photos because I am freezing. I don't know if y'all can see my breath, but it's that cold. Oh, one last thing I wanted to add in about the convenience of taking photos. There's an option to where you can speak to your phone to make it take photos. You can say cheese or smile or, snap a picture and so forth. You can turn that on in your settings. I'm actually going to do it right now to help me take my pictures. Okay, so new ultra wide in log, but let's get the macro so you guys can see my beaters up close. See the work I didn't put in on these sneakers, but we can test the macro, and I'm shooting in log as well. So the highest resolution, everything top of the top. And of course, we got to test the ultra wide really quick in log 8K, 24 frames per second. Check the quality. It's cold. I'm out. Okay, so you guys just saw the cameras. You guys are able to assess my skin tones and let me know how well they look, how well did Samsung actually activate, their skin tone algorithm this year, and did they deliver and satisfy? Hit the comment section down below and let me know what you guys think about the S25 Ultra's camera delivery. Now, the only difference in cameras physically is that new ultra wide at that higher megapixel count. And, you're getting better macro shots and so forth. So I did showcase some of that for you guys. And then there's also the reality, I don't know if we can go back, Samsung, but the front-facing camera. Now, it used to be like a 40 megapixel front-facing camera. And when it was that, it was hands down my favorite front-facing camera. But Samsung has taken a route which is similar, kind of like iPhones. It's a lower megapixel count. I think they're larger pixels or whatever. I don't know, but should Samsung bring back the 40 megapixel front-facing camera? Now, it's probably a larger module, which probably doesn't allow for this super slender body, and lighter, might I add. I didn't mention that in the design perspective. This thing is thinner and lighter, and I'm all about it. So outside of that, though, I think that Samsung delivered quite well on their camera delivery, the log video option, which helps them compete with Apple, except for the fact that they don't have log video on the front-facing camera. Come on, Samsung. That's the camera that people who are filming themselves are going to use the most. You need to add log video to the front-facing camera. Apple has it. That's all I'm going to say. Because it looks like y'all following a lot of what Apple's doing. So let me just push the envelope further by saying we got log front-facing video on Apple. What about Samsung? Let's carry on, you guys. Performance, Snapdragon X Elite. When you first get this thing, now I did use good UI for a short moment, but you guys know me. I'm all about Nova Launcher, and this is the crayon icon pack. A lot of people ask me about that. This widget is a KGWT custom widget. I'll update you guys in the upcoming video. I know I said that last time, and I didn't. Hold me accountable this time, but I'll show you guys how I did this whole layout. But nevertheless, you guys, the Snapdragon X Elite is doing what it's doing, baby. And when you first use One UI, like I said, I used it for a brief moment. Animations, the fluidity, it feels pretty solid and smooth and fast and snappy. And it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, also, some people were concerned about not having the larger, RAM capacities on the 1 TB models and so forth. But I'm gonna be honest, with this new chip optimization and everything, they're doing really well with the, 12 gigabytes of RAM that's in here. They're handling it solidly. And there's no reason to have more RAM. When you guys see on the iPhones all of the time with lower RAM, they've typically had pretty decent RAM management, especially when they did the little bump that they did recently on the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. So I'm able to, like, if I were to pull up TikTok again, it's going to be right there at that dollar menu thing where I was from before. And even if I were to open up other apps and go back and so forth, the history and the RAM management is solid. So performance as well as gaming, right? So I'm gonna pull out my gaming controller, hold on, which is this one. So you guys getting a sneak peek to my top accessory list because you're here early. But this right here from Game Sir is fire. It's a little dusty because it was sitting over there. Hold on, I haven't whipped it out yet. I'm about to actually whip it out, throw some COD Mobile in here, and I'm gonna show you guys the gaming performance. But rear buttons, and the key to this one is Hall Effects joysticks. And it doesn't have the USB-C or, whatever plug-in, which is good because it allows for less option of failure or, snapping or damaging your USB-C port on yours. So you just put it in here and it connects Bluetooth, and the latency and connectivity is solid. I'm gonna boot up some COD Mobile. I'm gonna capture that for you guys, show you guys the gaming experience. It's solid, I already know it is, but we're gonna share it with you guys so you guys can see. Now, what's most important, user experience, which is the collective of everything, right? When you round out what I've experienced as a user, full on, all of those, new changes, all of those different categories and more as a collaborative effort, what type of user experience does the S25 Ultra yield? I'm gonna tell you now, if you can't tell, it's been solid. It's been so good. It's been doing everything that I've wanted it to do. As usual, again, like I said, the S24 Ultra is a solid smartphone, and no, there's no guarantee or, separating factor to make you, hey, you just got to get the latest. And I think some Samsung people are a little upset about that. I guess they're just so used to the habit of upgrading every year. You get good trade-in value. You still could do it if you want to. It's up to you. But, again, nowadays, it's all about AI. And yes, price increases for AI features, I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I gotta be honest. What I am a fan of is the user experience on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, 100,000%. So good. So good. I like the refinements that this device has. I like the new design. I like the speakers. I love the screen. I like the new camera algorithm, which is being a little bit more favorable to my skin tones, which I appreciate. Thank you, Samsung, finally, for delivering on that. What bad can you say about this without being a nitpicky tech snob, right? Oh my God, this and that. Again, yes, there are some devices giving faster charging speeds, but we don't know what that does in terms of battery degradation or just overall what all goes into implementing that technology. Again, we don't know what all goes into how you implement these things, but we do know what we know about Samsung, and we know that, removing the Bluetooth off the S Pen and removing the micro SD card slot and a lot of those little things over the years for some long-term, tech snobs has rubbed them, not in the best ways. All I can do is respect you guys' position, but what I can't do is allow you guys to ruin the experience for other people coming from older devices and making it seem like this is just a terrible device to choose. It's not. Honestly, when you go with the latest and greatest, not saying that you always have to, but I mean, with the deals that you're getting right now on pre-order with the trade-ins and so forth, it's like a no-brainer. Why not? You get the credits, get some accessories and so forth, some free Galaxy Buds 3 Pros, which I probably will be giving away. Stay tuned for the live streams. My real subscribers and my real supporters will have a shot at those because that's where the whole idea came up from. But again, it's like the same thing when I'm talking about iPhones and people are having a pity party. The tech snobs are like, oh my God, nothing really changed. It's the same thing, blah, blah, blah. Even though the refinements are there are slight improvements. There are slight separating factors. And at the end of the day, for someone coming from an older device, when they get into this newer device, they're going to have the time of their lives. I've seen people upgrading from the S22 Ultra and saying that they love it. Even people upgrading from the S23 Ultra saying positive things about the S25 Ultra. Upgrading from the S10, wherever you coming from and wherever you choose to come from, even if it is the S24 Ultra and you're happy here with the S25 Ultra, I will not judge you. I'm not that guy, and I will not be a part of that narrative because it's pointless. Listen, if you want the S25 Ultra, trust me, you'll enjoy the S25 Ultra. Get the S25 Ultra. If it's in your budget and you can afford it and it was on your agenda, but you were being, persuaded otherwise, but you want it, and that's what your gut is telling you to do, follow your gut. As far as, is it a necessary upgrade from a year over year or a couple years back? You guys already know the answer for all of these devices, even in the iPhone arena, is the same. It's not necessary, but for some people, it is like their choice, and I'm not gonna bash you for that choice at all. As you guys can see, as someone who has an S24 Ultra, who had the S23 Ultra, I'm here on the S25 Ultra, and I am absolutely enjoying my experience. I am not a part of that narrative. Now, I thought in the beginning that with not much changing and them looking like Apple, but I already knew what was up. I already knew this was coming. I was like, maybe I would be disappointed. My only disappointment is in, what Samsung used to be and what they are now, but I can accept it because I've accepted Apple for what they are. So how could I not accept Samsung for what they are? And a lot of you guys don't like Apple, have a dislike for this Apple way. And now Samsung's way is the Apple way. But the S25 Ultra is 100,000% worth it. If you want it, pick it up. I have links down in the description below. Might get you a little extra something, maybe not. I don't know, but grab you a S25 Ultra.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey.
Oh, and don't get it twisted, you guys. I'm still on Samsung's, asparagus about the things that need to change and the things that we need going forward, but I can't knock them for refining a good design and making it better. And that's what this video is about, and that's why I was wrong, but most of all, you were wrong. The community is wrong in bashing this device full on unnecessarily. A lot of people haven't used it and they have an opinion, which is crazy. I've used it, I have an opinion, and I like it. End of discussion.
Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Work with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it.